Check one, two, check one, two, check one, two. Hopefully, you guys can hear me okay. Give me a thumbs up if you can.
Check
Um,
one, two, check one, two, check one, two.
yep,
Hopefully, you guys can hear
it's
me.
working. So, welcome, guys, to another edition of Circle Talk. It's your good buddy DH in the building. I'm really excited to be here. It's been a busy week, but we made it. And I've been working on this weekend and what is going to transpire here in this next hour for a while. But it's been hard getting here. Let me tell you guys, I'm really excited to have Indigo in the building. I've been watching this brother do his fitness routines and his exercise agendas and everything that he does, and it has been so instrumental not only in my journey of trying to stay healthy, but a lot of people's that he has dealt with. And it's crazy. He never would have known this if I didn't hit him up and say, yo, bro, we got to have a conversation. I've been watching you and you've been doing some amazing things. So I'm excited to have him in the building today. But before I get into talking with him, I got to give a huge shout out to our sponsors. First off, I want to say thank you so much to iShotcha.com for an amazing event last week. If you guys did not hear about the all white party last week, one of the baddest parties in Washington that I've ever been to, and I've been to a lot of parties, very well put together. Shout out to all the team for GSL and everyone else that was involved in putting that thing together. You guys blew it out the water, and I'm really excited for what you guys have coming up real soon. Thank you again, Marvin, for allowing me to be a part of that. If you're locally in the area and looking for somebody to get your pictures done, as y'all see the pictures of me and my family right there, Mr. Marvin Patterson took those, and every other picture in this house of me and my fam. He has a great deal going for the summer. Hit him up; he'll get you done right away and at a reasonable price. So iShotza.com, hit him up. Next, we're gonna go down to Icon ENT. Shout out to my guy Junior Thomas for always being a supporter of anything that I have done in my life. I've known this brother over 25 years, and he has supported me through everything that I've done. So thank you again for continuing to support. Y'all watch out for Icon ENT and what they have going on this summer. They got the all black Icon ENT party bus that's gonna be riding around. Also, watch out for the all black party coming down in October. I will be there. I'll be doing what I usually do, and that's doing commentary work and talking with the people. So watch out for the all black party. Icon ENT. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this. And last but not least, Zakia at the Chaya. Thank you so much, Zakia. I've known you for a very long time as well. And everything that you have been doing within the Chaya movement has been a success, from creating rags to riches and sharing them out, or the pop-ups for other vendors to come and share their knowledge and their growth and the things that they are doing within their realm. Thank you guys so much for continuing to support. Watch out for the Chaya movement coming out real soon. Also, Icon ENT, and yes, iShotcha.com. Before I get into my next subject, I wanted to say one thing real quick, guys. There was a young girl that lost her life. 14-year-old girl lost her life on Tuesday to gun violence, drive-by shooting. Young girl, Ayana, good friend of my daughter's. My daughter knew her as well, and so I just wanted to take a moment just to let everybody know that we have to do better, y'all. It isn't about these teachers. It's not about all these people at the gyms. It's not about even their friends. It's about us as parents getting into their minds and reminding them you have to be careful about the people you surround yourself with. This was an unfortunate situation. Young girl sitting in a car, and some random people decided they wanted to do a drive-by shooting. 14 years old, and two killers. By the way, they were both caught and they're in custody. So that's an amazing thing that we did catch those people. But you guys think about it: 14-year-old, and then these two young guys are 17 years old. We got to do better. We got to stop the violence. We got to get into these kids' minds and in their heads and say, hey, if you guys got problems, don't use guns. use your minds, use your mouse, and then if you need to, use those hands. But guns is not the answer, guys. So we got to start working hard on changing the narrative when it comes to that. So wanted to say that real quick before I got into the next part. One more thing before we continue moving, and then I'll bring Indigo on. I will be busy next weekend, y'all. I will be at the Dope Culture Neo Soul Fest. It's a 2-day event going down here in town at the Pioneer Park Pavilion in Puyallup. Try and say that 3 times real fast. Anyways, it's going down. There's going to be some amazing artists there. Eric Roberson. There's going to be Urban Mystic. We're going to have Life Jennings. For those that don't know Life Jennings, he's been out for a long time. He's got skills. Also, Kimberly Monique. And we're going to have some local talent, Tiffany Wilson. And then my next week's guest, April Shante, will be in the building, performing for the Neo Soul Fest next week. So watch out for me. I'll be there doing some commentary work. I'll be doing some interviews. It's going to be going down next week, April 16th, April 17th at the Neo Soul Fest. All right. Pioneer Park Pavilion in Puyallup, Washington. All right. So without further ado, I'm going to get in and bring my guest on, y'all, because I know he's waiting patiently. He has things he has to do today. So, hey, let's go ahead and bring him on and have a conversation about his journey and everything that he's been up to and where he's going, because this man is a busy, busy man. So here we go. Indigo's in the building. As soon as I can bring him on. Let me get 1 second. Boy, I love technology. I see. Let's see if I can move this thing on up. Sorry, you guys. I'm having some technical difficulties with my system here. I see him, but it won't let me bring him on. So give me 1 sec. Here we go. Good Lord. Man. Here we go. Are you there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Can you see me? All right.
Yes, I
Well,
can hear
hey,
you.
man, I appreciate you for spending a little bit. Good deal. Good deal. Thank you so much for spending a little time with me this Saturday. I know you got things you got to do. You stay moving and grooving. Just getting to
Always.
this point, back and forth trying to find a way for us to just sit down and have this conversation. But we made it. We're here. Let's get into it. What's going on this Saturday with you, man?
Man, just on the grind as usual, trying to build the
Yeah,
empire, and leave my
absolutely.
mark on this world as much as I can in a positive way. So, always work to be
Absolutely.
done.
Yes, yes, no question, always. And like I was saying earlier, I seen a couple of your vids, and your workout is just top notch, man. Like I know a lot of people that are fitness instructors, and I ain't hating on nobody that's
Mhm.
out there doing their thing. But the first time I seen you, I was like, let me pay attention to what he got going on over here.
Ah, man.
Let me pay
Uh,
attention.
I'm
You
happy. I'm
know?
happy that came through. I'm happy you in.
And you think about it, bro. You in Bmore, you in Baltimore, Maryland. I'm in
Mhm.
Washington State, and I'm seeing your stuff. So that means your mark is being made. Just continue doing
Right.
what you're doing. It's working.
Man, I
So
appreciate
let's
that
go ahead and jump
honestly.
into it, man. Oh, anytime, anytime. You know what I'm saying? That's why we are here, is to try and lift each other up. I think that's
Absolutely.
an extremely important thing that we as people have to do, is acknowledge people for the things that they are doing, instead of always looking down and frowning because somebody is doing it maybe a little bit better than you are. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? There's nothing wrong with that. Give people props
Absolutely.
and keep it pushing.
Hmm.
So anytime I do these interviews, bro, one of the things that I like to do is I start from the very beginning where it all started for you. So is it possible you can tell us your upbringing, family life, how it was growing up in Bmore?
Well, once again from Baltimore, Maryland. Um, and I grew up on the west side of Baltimore, which ain't the best. School system here ain't the best either, but I found my my niche in track and field. So that was my thing. That
Mhm.
was my stress reliever, and that's really where the whole fitness thing started for me. I ran track for a long period of time, and then from
Yeah,
there, went to school as well, and ran track in college, and then I joined the military. So served 6 years in the army. Um, Great. Now that I look back at it, I'm like, it was a great opportunity. In the
yeah,
midst
yeah,
of it, I was like, man, this is, I don't know if I made the right choice, but I'm happy that I did. I got to travel the world, see some things, live some really cool places. When I got out, I was like, I'm just going to push personal training full force
uh-huh.
and really just grow the way that I want to. And then also, I started getting into modeling as well. So
Yeah,
that just like really expanded. And now it's like, I never would have thought I'd have been in this position. And I'm
yeah.
definitely, you know, lucky, blessed, honored, grateful, so yeah, it's been a journey, but I'm loving it.
That's awesome. So you said Be More growing up wasn't the best area. What do you mean by that? Because I know I'm when I tell people where I'm from, they're
Mm,
like Washington. Well, nothing's really there but trees and grass. Well,
yeah,
not really where I'm from. You know what I'm saying? I grew up in a
yeah.
tough part of town. Tell us a little bit about how it was. Was there a lot of gun violence, gangs? What was
Yeah,
it all about?
absolutely. Before I even reached 20, I had already got robbed at gunpoint 3 times.
Wow.
Um, you know what I mean? And it's kind of sadly, it's the norm for most people that are here.
Mhm.
The crime is very high.
Yeah.
It's a very survivor based place,
Mhm.
where income is very low, crime rate, once again, is very high. So everybody's just trying to survive the best way that they can. And
Right.
sometimes, it's not beneficial to the next person, so it sucks.
Yeah.
School system, once again, doesn't really put you in a position to be successful. So you just gotta work a little bit harder. You
Right.
gotta kind of sort of take some extra steps to get to where you want to go. But yeah, definitely definitely was a
Struggle.
tough one. But
Yeah.
but we made it. We made it.
Absolutely. It's crazy, and I'm just gonna say this, and then I'll jump back. But when I think about a few of the, maybe about three or four of the last interviews that I've done, it's
Mm-hmm.
so interesting to think that the people that I've talked to, they've grown up in a rough part of town.
Mm-hmm.
They got into the military and created something for themselves.
Right.
It's interesting. Like, where did the military come into effect? I mean, because my dad was in the military too,
Right.
so I'm a military brat. I know all about it. So, I mean, where did it come from for you?
Well, I have a good deal of family members that are in the military, and
Yeah.
then also at the time I felt like I just needed a little bit more security,
Uh-huh.
and I felt like that the military could provide that.
Right.
And then once again, like I was trying to set myself up in a position to succeed.
Mhm.
Um, you know what I mean? Like when you when you're growing up and you don't know which direction you want to go, it's like you
Right.
better choose something. You better you better choose something. And at that time, I
Absolutely.
was coaching my
Absolutely.
old high school track and field team, and the pay was
Yeah.
okay, but it wasn't enough to potentially in the future raise a family. So I was just thinking about
Right.
all of those things, like for me to be a great dad or a great husband in the future, which I don't have any kids now or
Mhm.
anything like that. I'm like I need to put myself into position now so I can be better off
Mhm.
later.
Absolutely. So, How old are you, by the way? I'll just throw it out there. How old are you?
Man, I'm up there. At least I feel it sometimes. I'm 35. I'm 35.
Bro, you young.
Man, please,
You young.
please.
It all I can tell you, man, is keep doing what you're doing.
Mhm.
You've obviously taken the right steps to put yourself in a place to be successful. And you have people watching you and seeing exactly how you're doing, which is going to help
Right.
others and not only help them, but then help the people that they deal with as well. So I mean, bro, you 35, I'm
Right.
45.
See, you still young.
so
You still young, man. You still young.
so so yeah, man. Hey, good for you, man. That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. No kids either,
No, no
I
kids.
mean, that's an amazing thing.
Yeah.
So let's talk about after the military. Like, what was the first thing you did right after the military? What just went right to the fitness and started working hard on that, or
I had a transition period where I was really just, for lack of better words, lost. Like it's really a transition going from like military life to going back to being a civilian. Like
yeah,
things are definitely not the same. But I knew that I didn't want to work a 9 to 5. Like
hmm
I knew that. So it was trying to see how could I put things into place um, to really be successful, and allow my passion to pay my bills, to fund the life that I wanted. Um, so it kind of worked out. And at that time, I had a very good support. I was married at the time when I got out. You know, my ex-wife was definitely 110% supportive about what I was trying to do. Um, it just once again me figuring it out myself just
yeah.
took some time, but once it did, I was like, all right, let's lock and load. Let's shoot for the stars.
So how long you been modeling for? Because I see your pics, man. You're doing some amazing work in the modeling, as well as the workouts. But
Yeah,
I noticed you have some pretty cool pics, bro. Like I don't see a
yeah.
lot of
Thank you.
people with that type of modeling where
Right.
it's like more. I mean, you have some chill modeling, and then you have some
Hmm.
fitness modeling,
Right.
which they all look good, man. How long you been doing
Thank
that?
you. So I've been modeling since the end of 2017,
Mhm.
and it's it's been it's been very therapeutic.
Mm.
Very therapeutic. Um, I would have never thought in a million years that I would be
Yeah,
a
yeah.
model.
Right,
Never.
right.
That would have never even crossed my mind. If somebody would have told me that, I'd have been like, "You're lying."
Yeah,
But um, the artistic side of it, and that's really what I love the most about modeling, is when I can like just create and really express my emotions deeply into the photos. And I believe
yeah.
that those are the ones that send a bigger message to somebody who may need it. You know, um,
Yeah,
so that's the ones that I really, really, really enjoy. And it definitely helped me out in some dark times because it allowed me to pour my soul into work that can last, and I can look back and be like, if I made it through this, then I can make it through the next one, then I can make it through the next one. So definitely
for
enjoy
sure.
it for sure. Definitely enjoy it.
Absolutely. And when it came to, let's talk about um, working as a fitness instructor.
Hmm.
Um, I've seen a lot of the pictures of people that you have been working with, and man, commend you for all the good work that you're doing in
Man,
others'
thank you.
lives. Um, how does it feel when you see someone um, go from 300 to 150 pounds because of the things that you're doing?
Man, it's breathtaking, honestly. Like sometimes
Mm,
I leave you speechless,
yeah,
and by all means, it's a joint collaboration. Like I
absolutely.
don't ever want to take credit as if it's all me. because
Right, right,
they got
right,
to
right.
get up and get there. They got to make sure that they're eating right. I'm just the guy that's giving information that's guiding them in the right direction.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
first off, I want to commend them for putting in that
yeah,
hard work because it's not easy. It's definitely a mental struggle. Sometimes you really don't want to come. You don't want to go to the gym. And I know they don't want to go to the gym because there's a lot of times I don't want to go to the gym.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm into fitness. So it's
Absolutely,
like, so it's like if I
absolutely.
don't want to go, I absolutely know they don't want to go. But
Right.
so what I try to do is just structure my way of training based on love. So none of my clients can ever say that I'm yelling at them. Ever. Like I always come with love in the forefront. So and that's what I tell them too. I'm like, just come on in and you don't get all this love. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna love you into the weight that you need to be. You know what I'm saying? So and I think that that's key to my success right now. It just, making sure that I guide them in a positive way first. You know what I mean? And let them know that no matter what, we gonna make it through this thing together.
That's cool. So I seen a couple, and I'm just going down the line. I don't have any
Mhm.
questions written out. I go off top, but I do a lot of skimming through
Okay.
the person to kind of figure out who you are.
Hmm.
Did you do some work for Nike? I seen you did a picture where you
Hmm.
was like like halfway up
So
in the
so actually, that was
Under Armour.
yeah, so that was me like pitching one to them, but I have had an opportunity to work with some dope people. So I've had an opportunity to do some work for H&M and also for Gap as well. I've had some
Nice.
pitches in magazines. I've had some work in art galleries. I've had opportunity to collab with, other brands like for beards, for fitness apparel, for
Yeah, yeah,
for underwear, like, you know what I mean? So it's definitely been mind blowing at times and has definitely
yeah.
been an amazing experience. But Nike is
That's
on the list, so
yeah.
I need to get that in. I need to make that one work.
So do you do any like strongman competitions at all? Because you have the physique for a strongman. Do you got actually get into those at all?
So I don't do strongman competitions, but I do like they're similar to bodybuilding. It's called men's
Okay.
physique. So I
Yeah,
do those, and then outside of that, I do the Spartan races, which
man.
which is another completely different like
Yeah,
animal. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But I told myself this year that I want to challenge myself in every aspect, and I
yeah.
feel like for me to properly train an individual, I need to physically been able to go through it just like them. But then
Absolutely.
and also have the knowledge. So a lot of trainers are just training off of a knowledge with no physical experience. So
Yeah,
now I know exactly how they feel at mile 5. I can kind of sort of teach them a little bit better on how to get over this obstacle. How to make certain adjustments, during a race or, while they on the fly for their meal plans. So, like I think that is also once again one of the keys to my success is pushing myself 10 times harder than them, then I can kind of sort of relate a little bit better too.
so let me ask you, and this is just just thinking about me because I love running.
Hmm.
How 3 miles? What you run 3 miles in?
My fastest 3 miles is 17:22. My fastest fastest 3 mile.
Sheesh.
I'm not a
Sheesh.
distance runner. Don't get it twisted. I hate running anything longer than 20 25 seconds. I'd be like, I dread it. I
Anything.
dread it. I dread it.
Hey, would
But
you run in high school?
I ran the 100 and the 200 in high school.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. See, we got similarities. How tall are you?
I'm like 5'8.5". I'm gonna take that half. We gotta use that half. I'm like five eight
All
and a
right, I'm
half.
5'7", you about 5'8". How much you weigh?
Mhm.
About 178?
You right on point, actually. 178, 179.
Jeez, man. I
Yeah,
gotta get there. I'm about 190, so I got a few pounds I
yeah,
gotta lose, but I
yeah.
don't have
So
your physique. Man, I ain't nowhere close to that, but
hey, put in that work, man. Put in that work.
that's it though. That's it. I'm
Yeah,
trying to stay at it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Even at 45, you know what I'm saying? Trying to stay
Hey,
at it. So what's a day in the life of Indigo? When you wake up in the morning, how's it go down? How does your
um,
daily routine look like?
so it really depends if I'm in competition prep or I'm not. Currently, right now, I'm still on the fence if I want to do this next competition. I haven't decided yet,
Mm,
but I'll make my decision soon. But normally, I'm up by 4:30 in the morning. Um, Realistically, my clients don't notice for about the first 10 minutes in the morning. I'm the Grinch. I'm the, I'm the Grinch for the first 10 minutes.
yeah.
Um, and it's just like, trying to put in perspective, like, all right, let's lock in, let's get our mind right, let's go and attack this day the way I need to. First client is usually around about 5:15 to 5:30, and
Mm,
then I have clients up until about maybe 12 o'clock. Then and I'm squeezing in my meals in between, and then I usually go to the gym, knock out my stuff, and then possibly I'll have like a photo shoot around about maybe 5 o'clock. And then, depending on the day, sometimes I have like an afternoon fitness class that I may teach as well. And then after that, it's just down to studying.
yeah,
Um, just trying to perfect my craft and
absolutely.
every shape, form, and fashion, from uh, from modeling, from personal training, from just motivational speaking, things like that. Just seeing how I can continue to elevate the game.
Awesome. So I know I had told you earlier that we were going to touch on this, and I'm sure the people that are watching and that will come and watch this will ask the question, where did the name Indigo come from?
Okay, so for the record, my government name is Glenn, but my mom. So it's always funny. Like, people like, "What did your mom name you?" My mom actually named me Indigo. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, but my father, his name is Glenn as well, and he actually, put Glenn on the birth certificate. But my mom, and this just goes back into the conversation of my upbringing was kind of crazy. My mom and my father
Yeah,
was
yeah.
always at it. My father was kind of in and out of jail, dealing with some things he had going on himself, his own mental battles. But my mom has never called me Glenn. She called me Indy for
Mm.
short, and it's from the combination of the Indigo children and the famous painter Vincent Van Gogh. And
Oh, okay.
she put it together. There we go. Which is crazy because my mother ain't
That's
artsy
cool.
at all. My mother ain't artsy. But you know, she probably got it from somewhere else. But kudos to Mom Dukes.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
always a
It's
conversation
a
piece.
really cool name,
Yeah.
and me, there's a song by Chris Brown called Indigo, and I've
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
like
Yep.
loved that song. And
Yep.
then when I've seen your name, I was like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
that's cool. That's
Yeah.
cool. So let me ask you a couple questions because I like to do some just situational questions with
Okay.
people. Um, let's say you're talking to a group of fitness kids that really want to work on their health,
Okay.
and one of them comes up to you after you finish your conversation
Mm-hmm.
and says that he sees his sister in the bathroom every morning sticking her finger down her throat.
Mm-hmm.
She eats breakfast. What do you tell that young man?
Also, well, first off, I'll ask him if he would like for me to talk to her. I feel
Mm,
like people need a support group. I think everybody do. Like, I don't care
mm,
how strong you are mentally, physically. Everybody needs a support group. So that would be my first
mm,
thing. Two,
right.
I would ask, have anybody in our family, try to get her help. Three, body like dysmorphia, or or having those thoughts in your mind once again that you're not good enough is real,
Mm,
and a lot of people have that more than what people actually think. Um,
yeah.
with me being into fitness, like, there's a complete difference when I'm in competition shape versus what I walk
Mm,
around every day. When I'm in
mm,
competition shape and I'm getting ready to go on stage, I'm at 3%. to maybe a little bit under sometimes in body fat percentage, which is extremely
Yeah.
low, but I usually walk
Yeah. Yeah.
around about maybe like 8 to 9%. And even for me, when I'm walking around on a daily, like I look at myself in the mirror sometimes and it's like, I'm so used to wanting to
Yeah.
have that 3% look. But then I have
Yeah.
to realize that it's not realistic. So once again, just being able to relate with the individual of like, look, whatever you think about yourself, sometimes we create false realities, you know,
Mm.
um, and we got to get out of that. Sometimes we just stand in our own way of success, or we're trying to meet the standards of what we believe, like society think what beauty is. And we all have our own beauty in our own way, So once again, like I feel like love can conquer a lot of things, if you do it
Yeah.
from an organic and genuine place, So I would definitely approach it just like that.
Great answer. Great answer. Yeah, it's really hard. Kids nowadays, they do a lot of hiding of
Yeah.
and,
Hmm.
and looking in the mirror and being unhappy
Yeah.
with their God-given,
Hmm.
bodies. And to me, it's like you said, everyone needs a little bit of support.
Yeah. Yeah. We all need
Whatever,
love.
all need love,
We
and
all need
so
love.
you know. Just thought I just thought when I was sitting here thinking about it, thought I'd throw it at you.
Right.
Um, so you said in B more, there's a lot of violence in the places where you live.
Hmm.
At,
Right.
a lot of that type of lifestyle.
Hmm.
Is it mostly black where you live at?
You used to.
Hmm.
Now, is a good mixture because I'm in like the downtown in the harbor
Hmm.
area. So financially, people are way better off.
Hmm.
So it's less crime.
Yeah.
Um, but once again, it's still Baltimore. It's
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
Baltimore, So you still have to be careful, you know. Still have to make sure that you're on your P's and Q's, So, but yeah, yeah. Growing up was definitely just a different animal.
Well, I'm gonna throw this question at you. To like I was saying earlier, I had this young girl that was young
Hmm.
black girl shot and killed by another, African American of, the
Hmm.
hill, right up on the hill. I mean, it's
Right.
it's just like where you grew up at. It's a lot of gun violence, a lot of
Yep.
gangs, but not. In your opinion, you can just, say what you think would work best. How can we stop these kids from killing kids?
Um. First, we have to stop the battle that we have against black versus black.
Hmm.
Like, I think that's the first step. Social media has turned us against each other, where black women hate black men feel some type of way about black women,
Wow.
kids hate these kids, so we try to lighten our skin half the time. We trying
Mhm.
to do things to our hair. Like we need to start getting back into loving who we are.
Yeah.
And I think that once we do that, then we can look in the mirror and love, our neighbor, love our friend, and we approach things a little bit differently. Right now, we have absolutely, and I'm talking about just not the whole, but the majority. We don't
Mhm.
have any pride in who we are as
Mhm.
Black people. You know,
Yeah.
um, and starting to change who we look at as role models for our society.
Mhm.
Our role model shouldn't be Young Thug. You know, our
Yeah.
role model shouldn't be, you know, Young Dolph or whoever, these new rappers or any of that. For that
Yeah.
matter, when you have people that are out here making like incredible strides to the betterment of the world and for African Americans.
Mhm.
So we just definitely need to start putting more emphasis on that. Um, you know what I mean? And then I think that will change a lot of the killings because we'll look at ourselves more than just thugs and gangsters, and so.
Mhm. Absolutely. Yeah. How much of an effect do you think game consoles are in today's society versus when we were children?
I think that is definitely a major thing. Like sadly, Um, but that's where we have to start controlling what we allow into our head, into our heart, into our ears, into our
Mhm.
mind. You know, like, and that can just go from anything, from movies to music to social media platforms. Um, and if we're not depicted in a certain light, like, exit out. Don't play the music. If you don't play the
Yeah,
music, they don't get the streams. If we don't go to the
absolutely.
movie theater and we don't go watch the movie, which is making black people look bad, then they won't get any sales. They won't make a part two. You
Hmm.
know, so we got to start really being in control in large numbers and masses. You know how
Absolutely.
we handle being treated and being looked at as black people, because right now, sadly, if we keep on getting put out to the mainstream media as if we're animals, then when things happen to us, people are so desensitized to how we're treated because they don't look at us as humans. They look at us as less than. You know, they look
Mm.
at us as once again as thugs or, animals. And so it's like, well, we didn't need them anyway. You know, it's kind of happy that they're gone instead of
Yeah,
protecting somebody who you feel like actually adds value to the world. And we have
absolutely.
gifts and values that we could definitely, definitely add into the world.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I went to walk. Like I was saying, my daughter knew this 14-year-old girl, and
Hmm.
on her birthday they did a walk for her here in town. And I asked my daughter if she wanted to go. She said no. She said she couldn't. It was too emotional for her
Hmm.
because they were friends. And so
Right.
I went and did the walk. And the one thing that I noticed, um, that I didn't notice when I was kids, was people were there. It was hundreds of people there
Yeah.
when people got shot and killed back in the
Right.
day. That wasn't a thing.
Right.
But the one thing that really made me think how we are losing in this battle is the fact that the news will only come out
Hmm.
for the negative.
Yep.
They will never come out for
Yep.
anything positive.
Yep.
You got Cairo 7, you got King 5, you
Yep.
got Q13, you got all these TVs and radio stations wanting to be around when a young 14-year-old girl gets killed.
Yep.
But then the week earlier, they're doing a water party at the park and nobody's there.
Yep. That's how it
There's
is.
no there's
That's how it
King
is.
5, no Channel 7. It's crazy, man. Like,
Eh,
why are we losing? How are we losing? Why do they only want to highlight when we are hurting each other than when we are helping each other? It's such a
Because
sad
I think that sometimes we give them the ammunition. You know,
thing. Mm,
like
man,
if
that's
I
crazy.
if I sit here and I go somewhere and I go into the club, and in the club all they're playing is shake this, shake that, sell drugs, kill this dude, kill this nigga, kill that. You know what I mean? Then it's like, you want, sometimes we act that out once we
Yeah,
stop listening to it. Like,
yeah,
when and this is things that just happen subconsciously. Like when we go to the movie theater and we see
yeah,
our favorite character on screen, or we see the main character on screen, once we leave, we start acting like that person a little bit. We start, like, just the way that they talk, the way they may walk, like we embody it for a short amount of time.
yeah,
And if that just plays on a loop, then it becomes, sadly, how we carry ourselves and how we conduct our day to day lives. So
yeah.
we definitely have to step away from that. You know what I mean? And stop acting like being a good person is lame or whack.
Right.
That you got to be connected to the thug life or connected to the street life to be down. And it's like, that's not it. That's not it.
Yeah,
Like, for
it's
yourself, for
definitely
your
not.
family, for your neighborhood, or just for the betterment of us as people.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Good points. Good points. So this is my deal, man.
Hmm.
What's next for you? Let's talk about what you got going on next, moving
Ah,
forward in 2026.
um, looking at possibly moving to Atlanta. Um, just
ATL.
wanna, yeah, just wanna do something different.
Yeah.
Switch it up a little bit. Baltimore was never was supposed to be, like, when I moved back here, it wasn't supposed to be permanent. Just
Mhm.
supposed to be like a quick, you know, walk through. And then after that, start prepping for retirement. For me, I want to live in Costa Rica, like, in the next couple of years,
Yeah.
and just be done. Just be done. So I'm
Hey,
chasing it. I'm chasing. When I say I'm chasing it. I really just been sitting down with myself and just been analyzing. Like, we have one shot at this thing called life. Like, you better
absolutely.
do everything that you can to live the life that you want. So, I've really just been thinking like, hey, let's live this thing like a movie. So,
Yeah,
I've gotten some new toys
I see it.
this
I
year.
see
Like,
it.
it's been incredible. It's been incredible. I never would have thought in a million years that I would be driving a Corvette, like
Yeah,
as in
I
one
see it.
of the three vehicles that I have. It's
Right.
like, and I'm not even talking about just from a from a materialistic standpoint, but just being able to live that type of life.
Yeah, absolutely.
When all I could afford at first was just oodles and noodles. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So it's like, and then just coming from um yeah, a lot of people know this because I don't hide it, but just about maybe 4 years ago, coming up on 4 years actually, I tried to commit suicide, in a gun jam.
Mm,
So it's like
yeah,
going from that when I felt like I had completely nothing and I was at the
yeah,
lowest of low to now
yeah.
being in the position that I'm in is freaking mind blowing sometimes. To be honest with you, it's like I would have never been able to write this story.
That's
So
crazy, man. Because I think about it. You said almost 4 years ago. It's been almost 4 years since I tried to commit suicide as
see,
well.
see,
August 2018.
yep,
Yep.
yep. And
You know, so
mine was
that's pretty crazy.
January 2018. So actually, it's longer than 4 years. So, yep,
Yeah,
January
yeah.
2018.
August 2018 coming up.
Yep.
But man, I am so happy that we had this conversation. I
Yeah,
think
man, me
that
too.
the sky's the limit for you, bro.
Man,
Like, I
thanks a lot,
mean,
bro.
35 years old, you're living your best life. I mean, obviously, we all have trials and
Oh,
tribulations
absolutely,
along the way, but
absolutely.
I mean, your main focal point is you
Yeah.
and doing what you feel is
Yep.
right for you at this time. And
Yep.
I see it. I see a lot of things going in your favor. So continue doing what you're doing. It's obviously working. I mean, come on now, you're
Man,
driving
thank
around
you,
in a
thank you,
Corvette.
thank you.
You driving
Appreciate
around
it.
a Corvette, and like you said, it's not about the materialistic things. It's
Yeah,
about
at
the idea
all.
that you're humbled by the idea that what I used to be. I used to love top ramen. That was all I could really afford.
That's all I can have. That's all I
That
can
was
have.
it.
And now life is just different. And I
Like,
and I am definitely grateful. Definitely grateful.
absolutely. So I got one
Yeah.
question, and then we're gonna go ahead and close up shop.
All right,
Out
what
of
is it?
everything that has transpired in your life, if there was someone to come up to you and say, "What did you do to make it?" What are you gonna tell them?
I bet 110% on myself.
Hmm.
And I didn't hold anything back. Once I made a decision and I signed that contract with myself, there was no more negotiating. I just was like, it's either we all in or we gonna fail.
Yeah,
So I had to bet on me, and as of right now, the bet has been worth it.
yeah,
The bet
it's
has been
working.
worth it.
It's
Yeah.
working. Well, thanks, man. Thank you so much for being here for this conversation, man. It's
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I think you're a great person.
Man,
Hopefully, we
thank you.
can stay connected, and
Yes,
I can
sir.
get some tips to shave down a couple more pounds so I can start looking like you. In
Hey, come
a,
on, come on.
about 6 to 8 months, I'll be popping around looking like you,
Hey,
running those
hey,
those long 13-mile races, man. I'm getting
man.
ready for not I think 2 weeks I'm doing. I mean, this is something light, but in
Right.
2 weeks I'm doing like a muddy dash because it's just fun. I do it for fun.
Hey,
Grab a
hey.
bunch of friends and we go and get this dash on. But I'm doing a tough mudder here in September. So just trying to get
Okay.
myself ready for that. I got a
Yeah.
ways to go
Hey,
to get to the 13 miles though, but I'm
hey.
working
Make
on
it fun. Make it fun, bro. Make
it.
it fun. That's all I can
Absolutely.
say. Just enjoy the journey
Yeah,
along the way.
yeah.
You know.
Oh, absolutely. Well, hey guys, thank you all so much for being a part of Circle Talk for the day. Thank you again, Indigo. Keep doing what you're doing. We
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
all watching, brother.
Thank
Um,
you.
next week, we're going to be sitting down with a local talent. Her name is April Shante. If y'all ain't never heard this young lady sing, she got vocals. So check her out next week. We'll be sitting down and talking about her journey. She's been through a lot, just like we all have. But her story is something special. When you are going through something like cancer and continue to fight and continue to win, that's something that needs to be highlighted. And so I'm gonna sit down and talk to her about the journey. So listen in next week. All right. So on behalf of the circle, thank you guys so much for listening. We are out. Take care.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
You have a good one.
You too, brother.